So I am taking a major break from Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it now, um, because I do fact checking. That's how I've been operating pretty much since the start of the pandemic. And I made the mistake of thinking that this Israel-Gaza situation was going to be scrutinized and checked the way that every other conflict and war is. And that's just not the case. I fact checked a lie from the IDF saying that Hamas was going door to door and beheading babies, that they were targeted for beheadings. That was not true. It was promoted officially by the IDF, and now all of the news organizations have debunked it. But when I did that, I got called a terrorist lover, a Hamas sympathizer just for fact checking a single lie. And a lie told by the IDF, who had also lied that same week about Egypt warning them ahead of time that there was activity, looked like they were planning an attack. Officially, the IDF said that was false. And then a few days later, they admitted that it was actually true. And then that fact check was used by disinformation accounts who are sympathetic to Hamas to say that Hamas didn't kill any babies, which is also flatly a lie. And I called that out. And then I was called a Zionist and, supporting the colonization of Gaza. And then yesterday, a hospital was bombed and a school was bombed in Gaza. The hospital fatalities are still being added, but at the last time I checked, there were over 500. The school's fatalities, I think, were between 6 and 7. They were still trying to confirm, but it's a school that's being used as a refugee shelter for the United Nations. I generally think the United Nations is a reliable source. And they said that it was an Israeli airstrike. No one denied that it was an Israeli airstrike. But then the IDF said they didn't bomb the hospital in Gaza. And all of a sudden, even though they've been caught in 2 lies that week, everybody believed them. And the vitriol that I have seen online since then has been sickening. You can't even say I wouldn't believe anything coming out of either party right now during a war without one or both sides attacking you. I have seen this effectively fragment and divide the left in ways that nothing else has. And it's really unfortunate because I'm on the side of innocent life. I'm on the side of kids not being bombed or targeted. I don't accept that war must result in hundreds of child casualties. But that's apparently not an aggressive enough stance between the two. And it's so complicated and so emotional that I'm done. I'm done with it. You know what? I am not an expert in foreign relations. I'm not an expert in the history of Israel or of the Palestinians. What I know is very simple, and that's that Hamas does not represent all of Gaza. Gaza in itself does not represent all of Palestinians, and that slaughtering children is wrong. That's controversial just blows my mind. This isn't like COVID where, we had science and data to say this. This is just, it's like piranhas. The second that there's, a drop of blood in the water, they all just start feeding. But so I'm taking a break from that. I'm not going to comment on that shit anymore. It's too taxing. It's too exhausting. There are people that I had respect for that I don't see how we can ever reconcile these viewpoints. Calling for the genocide of any group of people is disgusting and vile. And so I'm just going to step back from it. Recognize that emotions are high. A lot of people feel very personally invested in this issue. And I'm going to leave it to people who really know what they're talking about. Because, I really knew what I was talking about during COVID. And I'm even not taking the massive victory lap that I should be taking on Twitter right now after Florida Department of Health lost that lawsuit over lying about COVID data, because it's so toxic on Twitter right now. But I'll be back eventually. Until then, I'll be here not talking about this again. And on my Substack, you can find me there at rebeccajones.substack.com. Remember that my name is spelled the Hebrew way, Rebekah. And follow me here, and let's try to talk about something other than the collapse of civilized society.